So it's very community driven, like very family oriented. They have love for children like you wouldn't believe. You'll never experience that in my opinion, any other school.
I'm Danielle, and I'm from Our Kids. I just spoke with Marco, the parent of 3 children who attend Shepherd Montessori. Listen to Marco talk about his children's experiences, their favorite memories at the school, and why Marco wishes that the school continued beyond grade 3. Can you tell me a little bit more about Claudio? What are his likes and dislikes?
He's 4 years old. He's just an active child. He likes just about everything as long as just for a short period of time for most things. But yeah, he's pretty active.
And what kind of learner is he?
He's visual. He's a visual learner. I can tell that by his 2 older siblings, where he's constantly copying what they're doing.
Can you explain the process that you took to choose Shepherd Montessori? Were you considering other schools, and if so, why did you choose this one over the other options?
We did not consider other schools. We chose Shepherd because of our prior experience with them. He has 2 older siblings, as I mentioned, and we had a great experience with the first one and the second one, and we are having a great experience now with Claudio.
And would you mind explaining what the application process is like for parents who are wondering?
It was very, very simple. I linked in through the Our Kids website through a social media link with my oldest child's search. And once we found out that they were close by, we booked an appointment with them, and we liked what we saw. And it was very straightforward. It was pretty much an email back and forth with a few documents that we had to read over, and registration was done. It's very simple.
And how did your children respond to learning at Shepherd? Did they have a positive or a negative overall experience?
Very positive. I can tell you that my 2 oldest siblings, now they've moved on to grade 1, and they continuously ask about the teachers there. So they're still very much, they still very much miss the school. Yeah.
That's a great feeling for you as a parent, knowing that your children had such wonderful experiences there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did you feel that the school adapted to their individual learning style as well?
Of course. Yeah, no doubt.
Can you speak a little bit more about how they adapted to their learning styles?
So they have the 2 floors. There's the main floor, and then there's the upstairs. And the children, if they were ready to go to the upstairs, they would go. And there was times that they would not be going there, where they maybe needed to do other things, I guess, in the downstairs, which was maybe more their level. But yeah.
You mentioned that Claudio is very energetic, and he likes to move around a lot. So did you find that there were enough extracurricular opportunities available that suited each of your child's interests?
Yeah, so throughout the years, you could see that they had things set up out in the backyard, and that they would keep them busy doing extracurricular outside. In addition to that, there's also camps that they run throughout the summer. I'm not sure if that's part of this discussion, but there's camps that we did send the kids to as well, just to get them comfortable with going to the actual school in September. So there's a lot of things that they do there.
If you can name one thing that each of your child liked the most about the school, what would you say it was?
My daughter loved Miss Julia. Well, she loved all of them, but Miss Julia is very special to her. Leo loves Miss Julia's tomato soup. There's lunches provided there as well. And Claudio, he loves the balloons that they had out there just yesterday. Yeah.
And for yourself, what is something that you personally appreciate and like the most about the school?
I like the fact that I can leave the kids there, and I am comfortable with leaving them there. I have no worry that they are going to take the best care for our child.
Was there anything about this private school experience that you found surprising, something that you might not have known or considered until you were thrown into the experience?
No, to be honest, I sort of left all of that, the expectations and research to my wife to do. So I don't think she was surprised. I think through her discussions with Connie, she sort of fully understood, and they delivered what they promised and more. Yeah.
Since you've seen firsthand the values of the school, can you explain what the values of the school are, not on paper, but in actual practice, like what you've witnessed?
Yeah, so it's very community driven, like very family oriented. They have love for children like you wouldn't believe. You'll never experience that in my opinion, any other school. Very, very family oriented, and they just love having children around. Yeah.
And how do they make you feel like they're very family oriented?
Just the interaction with the children, like they're very, very concerned about the children, and they sort of the attention they give to each child is unbelievable. Yeah.
That's good to know. And I'm curious to know more about a sense of school community. Did you feel a sense of community?
No doubt. So throughout the years, they run different type of events. Not sure now with COVID if it'll continue, but over the last couple of years, they've done like Christmas concerts, year-end parties, things like that, and open houses where it's an opportunity to go meet other parents and other children that are in the school. And my experience anyway was that I couldn't believe how many familiar faces, and that was reassuring that you're sending your child to a great location, and everybody in each of those events would have the same sort of experience that you were having. So it wasn't just a one-off. Yeah.
What about the relationship between parents and parents? Did you find that the goals between the families aligned?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Do they have opportunities for parent involvement there?
They do. Through those events, I believe they're not against anybody helping out and setting up those events. Yeah.
Oh, so there's opportunities to help out for parents with the extracurriculars and the events that they host?
I'm sure there was. I mean, me and my wife didn't have an opportunity, but I'm sure there were other parents that were helping out. I'm not sure how that's going to be going forward with COVID, but the world's changed.
Yeah. And can you speak a little bit about the relationship between parents and faculty? Did you feel like there was an open door policy and you can go to communicate with them whenever you wanted to?
No doubt. Now, my first child's experience she was very independent, so it was great. But my second, it was more of we were sort of concerned that he may not have been socializing as well as he should have been, and the back and forth that we had with Connie and Miss Julia, it was great. They were very responsive, and they just kept on telling us, no, he's fine, sending pictures and whatnot, and saying, don't worry, everything's fine, he's great. So but yeah, it was a good experience.
What about the aspect between students and students, that relationship? Did your children feel like it was easy to be immersed in that community and make friends and have that social aspect as well?
Yeah, no doubt. I know my daughter still has a friendship with one or two of the girls that did go there, and now they're in what they call is big school. So that's grade 1, 2, or 3. And same with my son. He's now in grade 1 and still has a friend from Shepherd. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome to know. I'm glad that you feel that way and
Yeah.
that they are building these relationships that might be very long lasting as well. So no school is perfect. We talked a lot about positive things, but I'm curious to ask you, if you were to name a weakness of the school or an opportunity that you see for growth and development, what do you think that would be?
A weakness, and I think they would agree with me, is that they don't go past grade 1. That would have been fantastic. Would have made our lives much easier in making that decision to pick which school outside of Shepherd to go to. Lunches are provided, and that would have helped out too, especially when you got two parents that are working, right? One less thing to forget at home when you're driving them to school. But yeah, that's one weakness that I think they would agree with. And if they could do that, that would help them grow. Yep.
Can you comment a bit on what the classroom sizes are like?
I think there's a total of about 22 kids, 24 kids altogether. And I think they're split up in about 10 to 12 between the upstairs and downstairs. Sometimes there might be a few more or less, but that's pretty much where it's at.
As a parent, are you happy with those classroom sizes? Do you feel like it's enough opportunity for the students to be blended in a social environment, but at the same time have that one-on-one support from their teachers?
I think that that number is 100% accurate, and gives you that blend. That was one of our main reasons to keep them in Shepherd for JK and SK, and would have been our decision to keep them there for grade 1, 2, 3, if that was possible. Yeah.
And were there any projects or assignments that they were given, or even like a Christmas play or extracurricular that surprised you, or a fond memory that you can speak about?
Yeah, they do work on certain projects. Christmas plays, as much as you wanted to help them, those were to be kept secret until the actual play, but you could tell that they were working on them in their bedrooms and getting themselves ready. But yeah.
And if you could recommend Shepherd Montessori to another parent, would you, and why or why not?
No doubt. And we have recommended them to family and friends, and a few of them have made the same decision to go there. Yeah.
And for my last question to you, if you were to pick up the phone and call your past self before embarking on this entire experience, what would you tell yourself?
Before embarking on this experience, you know what? I would say that just go with your gut, and your first impression is the right one. Like, I mean, my first impression of seeing Miss D and Miss Julia, and them waiting there till 5 o'clock till we got there to give us a tour of the place was fantastic. And that first impression meant everything. Yeah.
So would you recommend for parents who are considering sending their child to the school that school visits is a good way to determine whether or not it's a good fit?
Agreed. Yeah, I think so. Did help me make the decision, myself and my wife. Not sure how that's going to look like going forward, but yeah.
And after this experience, you feel like your children are adequately prepared to take on the next step of their education?
No doubt. I think they're more than prepared.